done it! I cannot believe it! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again!
Hello everyone, we are Through and Goal, a podcast where we talk about football and pretty much nothing else. My name is Sam, and as always I'm joined by my very best friend in the whole wide world and co-host Elliot. Hello Elliot.
Hello, Sam.
I'm doing those all in one now.
Okay, nice. Very nice.
I feel like, I feel like last week I did it first time and I was like,
Smooth.
I'll see if I can do that again. It was smooth, and I felt like this one was even better. Good luck next week, Sam, topping that one. How are you?
It's been a good week, although I can't really remember much of the week where I haven't felt absolutely boiling. But that aside,
It's been a bit hot.
It's been a roaster, but yeah, it's been a good week.
It's been a bit hot, and I think it was pretty much the hottest day of the year, Friday.
Yeah.
And there was no drinks breaks.
Yeah.
There was nothing.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Maybe that's a UEFA rule or something. rather than Premier
UEFA
League.
could not give about about people not playing football for ages.
Yeah.
You're thirsty, you drink at half time, or feigning injury, which is what a lot of people do. European football back, Champions League, Europa League is back. It's the whole of August is pretty much UEFA, Champions League, and Europa League, which is very exciting.
Yeah, I think it was simply just today, Sunday as we're recording, where there wasn't really any football on.
Nothing happened. I was very bored today.
But yeah, throughout the next probably 2 or 3 weeks, it's almost every day. I can't wait.
I know, I can't wait either. And obviously, a couple of bit of developers in the Championship and a couple of signings happened. League 1, League 2 have announced the salary cuts. We'll touch upon that. Then we've got the Through On Goal Awards. It's the first annual Through On Goal Awards that we will be giving out at
End of every season.
At the end of every season.
Yeah.
And we'll begin this. Well, we won't begin the podcast. We're going to talk about a couple of things more. And then, yes, this podcast is going to be the start. So, Elliot, Wolves and Man United, I think quite expectedly, comfortably. Well, not so much comfortably for Wolves, but quite expectedly, I think. Wolves and United are through.
Yeah.
Are through to the Europa League quarterfinals.
So, obviously, start with United because their game happened first. And, yeah, it was expected, really. They were, 5-0 up going into the second leg.
5-0 up, yeah.
Against a team called Lask, which, in truth, I don't think even the hardened of football fans would have even known much about before this year's Europa League. Yeah, it was to be expected with United. They put out a younger team. Even Jesse Lingard got his second goal of the season.
He's prolific. He's absolutely prolific. Remember the name.
But
he's a youngster. He's up and coming.
He's up and coming. He's got a big future ahead of him.
He's such a huge future.
But Wolves was not so easy. They ended up winning 1-0, but they had Olympiacos equalised, made it 1-1, and it was one of the closest of offsides. It was very, very close. It was, I think it was Matt Doherty, right back, who was almost playing on the goal scorer, but they got away with that, and it did seem a matter of just clinging on towards the end. But fair play to them. They're through to the next round, and that's all that really mattered, really. They've got Seville this week.
That's it. Yeah, we one of my favourite things to come out of the United game was Martial saying to Solskjaer, "Get me on. I can see spaces. Get me on, and I'll score you a goal." He did. Yeah. He went on, saw a space, scored some goal. As I said, yeah, Man United are through. Oh, am I going to butcher it? I will butcher it. FC Copenhagen. It's
Copenhagen?
No, it's not Copenhagen. I know to say Copenhagen. You think so little of me.
Hang on a second. Copenhagen.
No, it's not Copenhagen, is it?
Yeah.
That's Copenhagen.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to criticise the app because we want them to be sponsors. But I think it's simply just they've got it in Danish language rather than the English translation of it. But
right, okay. So that
it's
hopefully
FC
that doesn't
Copenhagen.
Hopefully that doesn't make me look as bad because it's the app's fault. We'll be sponsors. Well, to be fair, we didn't say what app we were using, so that's fine. It's app, just a stupid app. So FC Copenhagen apparently. Well done, Elliot. Thank you for that. And yeah, Wolves Seville. No disrespect to United, but that's the game I'll probably be watching more out of the two.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think it's more of an even matchup, and I wouldn't have Wolves as favourites. I'd have Seville as favourites, but I think Wolves are one of these teams, unless you're a Villa fan, unless you're a West Brom fan or local to Wolves, you can't really dislike them. They're a very well-run club.
Yeah.
And I think I tweeted from my own personal Twitter the other day that I'm very jealous of Wolves and
Yes.
the project that they've got going on.
Yeah, they seem to buy well. Their recruitment, I can't really fault. I'm trying to think of some players
That haven't worked.
I can't really think of. I think, was it Neto? Who was it came in? Codeine or Neto? No, not Neto. It was he's like 18.
What the
He
Italian
scored against
striker?
Liverpool, gave it the big one, and it
Oh
got
yeah,
ruled off.
Pedro
Yeah.
Neto. He's a fantastic player, I think.
Yeah, and there was another one. I think there was one. I don't think it's Codeine.
They had an Italian striker, Catrone, I think his name was.
Catrone.
And off the
I don't think
top-
he's hit the ground running,
Off
but
the top of my head, I think he went on loan to Fiorentina.
right. Other than, but you think about it, their
Yeah.
recruitment. A lot of their players are still from the Championship. Who are playing at the top level, and Patricio was a smart signing. Matinho was a great, very smart signing. Jimenez has just been such a good signing.
He's one of the best strikers in world football at the moment, and by one of the world's best, I'm saying like top 10, top 15. I'm not saying he's a Lewandowski or a Suarez or anything like that, but I think he's on the way. And I love Wolves, but I think that he won't be there forever. I think there'll be a big team that will come calling eventually, and
Especially as they're now not. Obviously, they could still win the Europa League, still get Champions League. But if they do get knocked out, I did look. Yes, if Villa are favourites for that game, right? There's no European football for Wolves next season now.
Yeah,
that would be a big factor in him staying.
And what makes this slightly different to the usual Europa League knockout stage is that this stage of the tournament for this season only, they're only doing it over one leg. It's not a two-legged tie.
Yes.
So there's no room for slip-ups. You've just got to go out and put in your best performance.
Is there away goals?
No, because it's neutral. It's
I was
neutral.
about to say
Neutral ground. It's I think the Europa League is all being played in Germany, and the Champions League is all being played in Lisbon.
Lisbon, that's it, yeah. Right, well, obviously, speaking of Champions League, Man City beat Real Madrid quite, I'd say, fairly comfortably. It wasn't. It was. There was Benzema scored towards the end of the second half, which made you think, But all in all, I've never seen a team give away so many passes than Real Madrid did against Man City.
Yeah.
The passing was shocking. There was no. They didn't look. It was just, let's pass it over there.
Yeah, I was wondering to myself if that was maybe a factor of Real Madrid have gone 3 weeks without a game. Man City have obviously just come from a busy league schedule. Does that play a part? But it just, Real Madrid.
Not for a team like Real Madrid.
Yeah.
It shouldn't.
I know obviously with a team as sort of disciplined and as good as Real Madrid, they will be interested in these games, but they just seemed disinterested.
Yeah.
And it was 2 Varane mistakes that led to the Man City goals. And I still think Varane is one of the best defenders in the world.
Definitely.
And it was just an off day.
God, that was an off day. There was just no concentration, a very lack of concentration. Get credit to Jesus for both of the goals. He pressed on Varane for the first goal to square it to Sterling, and then the acute angle that he managed to score against Courtois coming out when Varane gave it away. It's very, very good. Now, Chelsea, well, let's face it, I don't even... Frank Lampard may have said... What did he say? He said, I do believe we could win it, otherwise we wouldn't be here. No, you're there because you have to be there. Did you see the team you played? You didn't play a full-strength side. It showed. Different class, Bayern Munich. I still think they're going to win the Champions League this season.
Yeah, see, Bayern Munich have been even longer without a game than Real Madrid and other Spanish teams. They've been, I think it must be coming up 5 or 6 weeks without a game. So they could have maybe been a little bit off the boil, not quite at it, but they were at it. They were at it straight away. They took an early 2-goal lead on the night, and it was tie over really.
Yeah.
Almost as soon as it started. I think it was Thomas Muller said midweek basically that we don't want to give them any hope. We want them to be out of the game as early as possible. To be fair to them, they did that. They did that, yeah.
No, exactly right. It was 4-1 on the night. Obviously, Lewandowski got 2, Perisic, Tolisso. Did you see Tolisso's goal? How open he was.
Yeah.
He just crossed it in. He was just... there was no one there defending. Hudson-Odoi scored a cracking goal that was ruled off for offside.
Yeah.
And then obviously Abraham. Neuer probably should have done better. He kind of pushed it into Abraham,
I was very surprised at how easy that was for Abraham to finish. It was just palmed straight back into the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd expect better, but in a tie that's already over, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Obviously that the fact that you're not playing Kepa and you're playing a 38-year-old Caballero in a Champions League tie, they're looking for a new keeper.
Yeah.
Chelsea, and Willian was left out as well, which obviously he released a statement today, as obviously after recording, saying that he is leaving Chelsea, all but certain going to Arsenal, which is, I think Willian's still very capable player in the Prem, so
Yeah.
that's a weird one. But yeah, no, we expected that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And what else did we expect to happen? Oh yeah, a Lionel Messi masterclass. Of course that's going to happen.
Couple more goals. A very, very good goal. Took it past a couple of defenders while getting tackled, and then it's a hell of a finish round the defender and just inside the post.
That's it, the curl on it. It's just absolutely brilliant. They won 3-1 on the night. Napoli gave them, before half-time, gave them a little squeaky bum time. A little bit, because we all know Barcelona is second legs of Champions League games.
Yeah.
They don't like them.
I was thinking of I think it was Napoli a couple of years back, where didn't they surrender like a 2 or 3 goal lead?
Was it Roma?
Yes, it was Roma. It was Manolas scored the winner. He now plays for Napoli, which is what confused me. But yeah, and then obviously last season was Liverpool, the game at Anfield. How are they going to mess it up this year?
Well, you say that. They're against Bayern Munich next game, who are obviously, I said in the last podcast, they're my favourites to win the Champions League. Yep. Yours are Man City against Lyon.
Yep.
Juventus out, so they're not in a quarter-finals of the Champions League for... Well, right, okay, so I've made it quite clear that Italian football isn't up there for my knowledge. I keep an eye on it, I watch a bit if it's on, but I'm not interested. So when I say this, and if there are any Italian fans listening, tell your friends, but, apologies that I might come across, but Sarri has led them to their 9th consecutive title, and he gets knocked out of the Champions League, and then it's like, okay, off you go. So that says to me that domestically, they don't really care. Juventus only want the Champions League. Yeah. Which isn't a bad mentality to have, but he's just won them the league, and it's like, right, cheers, off you go, because you can't win the Champions League for us.
No, I do understand. I think it was Sarri's. This Serie A title was only his second piece of silverware as a manager after winning the Europa League with Chelsea last season. So it's meant a lot to him, of course. And then they go out.
He was only one season at Chelsea, wasn't he?
Yeah,
won Europa League, got sacked.
They go out midweek to Lyon, and he's gone. So they've brought in Andrea Pirlo, who only 10 days ago was announced as Juventus's under-23 manager, and without playing a game, and probably at this time of year, without even taking a training session, he's now been promoted to the senior team as manager, has now got one of the biggest jobs in Europe.
That's it. And, Juventus won on the night. They won on the night. Ronaldo scored. It was a right goal, but it was a good finish with his left foot.
Yes.
They won on the night, but I don't know. Maybe, obviously, there's probably a lot of Italian fans going, Hull's a very well-run club. They get money. What's wrong with them? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, Juventus are out. They're not going forward. Buffon is going to keep signing contracts and contracts and contracts until he wins the thing.
Can I just mention something that I find funny? I've tried to keep as unbiased as possible, but I am a massive Messi fanboy. He's better than Ronaldo for me, hands down. And so,
bye, Ronaldo fans.
So Juventus has splashed about 100 million euros on Cristiano Ronaldo for the end goal to win the Champions League. In the 2 seasons since he's joined Juventus, they've gone out to Ajax and Lyon, two of not exactly two of Europe's heavyweights at the current stage. I just found that a little bit funny.
That's right. Well, there you go. There's the unbiased through-on goal coming out. No, the biased through-on goal. Sorry, there's the biased Elliot coming out there. I understand, but so quarterfinals looking all right. We've got Leipzig and Atletico. Leipzig going from underdogs to, well, I don't think they're going to win against Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
Atalanta, who have had a cracking season, they're a brilliant Champions League so far, against PSG. I can see, I don't know.
I can see a bit of an upset there.
Yeah, Man City beat Lyon. Can't rule Lyon out. Maybe they're the Ajax of last season. We can't say anything there. They're all away at the Etihad. Then you've got a Bayern beat Barca in the quarterfinals as well.
That's the draw of the round, isn't it?
That's the tie of the round. That's the tie you want to watch.
But one thing that I really want to see happen this season in Champions League is I want to see Barca versus Man City, because in this sort of Guardiola era, Man City. They haven't played against Barcelona. And I think that would be a really sort of interesting matchup to see how that one goes.
Well, either way, Guardiola's facing either one of his former sides.
Presuming they get through against Leon.
Oh yeah. Sorry, no disrespect, Leon. But
Yeah. Leon fans are gone.
Leon fans are gone. If we had a Leon fan just randomly,
Just
that'd be
reach out
brilliant.
to us.
Yeah, tweet us, please.
Yeah.
Let us know who that one person is. So, yeah, that's fair enough. Championship, obviously a bit different to the Champions League. Still got champions in it. Fulham promoted. Sorry, that was an awful segue. It's just because they have champions in the name.
Yep.
But however, Fulham, now, I wouldn't have said they were favourites going in. I think Brentford were looking good. Judging by my Twitter timeline, Leeds were very, very happy Brentford didn't go up because they were feared. Oh, and
Yeah.
he swore in the interview, didn't he?
Oh, right.
Joe Bryan, I'm pretty sure he swore saying that, oh yeah, we should be scared of them, blah blah. Yeah, but let's go back though. Joe Bryan scored twice.
Yeah, Wembley hero. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people on their Sky Bet account had Joe Bryan to score twice and Fulham to get promoted, but
Yeah. That was well done on your winnings there.
I don't know what's more impressive, Joe Bryan scoring from 40 yards or Joe Bryan scoring from 4.
Well, I tell you what wasn't impressive. The game. It was one of
Yeah.
those boring games I've ever watched in my life. And I think that's got something to do with what's at stake.
Yeah.
Not only is it the richest game in sport, but it's Premier League. It's Premier League football, which again, more riches for them. And everyone plays so safe. Brentford are one of the most attacking sides in the Championship, and no one was attacking. It only took Scott Parker to go to Bryan. Oh, by the way, he's way off his line. Have a go. Yeah. He has a go, he scores, and all of a sudden we start getting a bit of a game going on.
It starts opening up after 100 minutes.
Yeah, 105th, they're literally dead on.
Wow.
It was right on the stroke of a half time and extra time. And then all of a sudden, you get a bit of a boot up down the wing. And who's bossing it down the wing? Joe Bryan.
Yeah.
1-2, finish. Cracking goal. Again,
Yeah.
you don't expect it from the left back. And then obviously Brentford do get that one back. And I love it. I love it when teams get a goal back like that. Because you know it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
But what if it happens?
The thing the thing that I always think of when they score one late goal but they need 2, you always think to that Dzeko goal before the Aguero one.
Yeah.
You just think,
That's it.
maybe, probably not, but maybe.
I'm literally sat there. I sat there when Brentford scored in the 124th minute of, I think, 3 added on time.
Yeah.
I always say it. Whenever there's a late goal, I always say to Lana, I go, surely not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Surely not.
Yeah.
And no, it never is. But congratulations to, obviously, Fulham. Credit to Scott Parker, I think, first and foremost. When it was Ranieri, I think, got sacked, didn't he, from Fulham?
Yeah.
And Scott Parker went in charge. Now, Fulham looked better. They still went down.
They
However, they
improved
did look a little better.
They won a couple of games not long after he came in, didn't they?
That's it, yeah. They looked a bit more, I don't know, they just looked a bit better. And obviously they still went down. Parker, Fulham gave Parker the backing. They were like, no, we want you to stay in charge. He stayed. And look at what he's done with them. He's got them straight back up to the Premier League. I think it was something like 9 players who were relegated from the Premier League, I think, were playing in that playoff game. Or it was something like that.
That's the secret to bouncing back up, though, isn't it? You've got to keep that squad together because they got relegated, but they're Premier League players.
And it's a sign of a good manager as well for him to those players to have the faith in him to stay. You love to see it. You love to see it.
No, I don't know. I expect them to be one of the 3 teams that go down next season. But ordinarily, you'd be saying they need a bit of backing. They need to bring in a fair few players to stand a chance to stay up. But last time they went up, they spent around 100 million. And they went straight back down. So do you get the wallet out again and spend another 100 million, or do you?
No, you've got to look at where you need improving. You can't just buy great players or good players and just expect them all to gel. That's just not how it works.
You just maybe need to focus on 1 position or 2 positions to really work on.
That's it. And Brentford could probably look at the goalkeeper situation. What was he doing? What was he doing? He dived about 5 seconds after the ball went into the net. He was way out of position. You can't fault him for the second goal. It was just good play by Fulham, but Because he made a mistake against Hull, didn't he?
Yes, arguably a bigger mistake. Obviously, not doesn't mean as much, but it was just a little. I think it was a misplaced pass by Ryan Tafazoli on the halfway line. He turned his back. Little does he know, he's just scored what was probably our goal of the season. We haven't had end of season awards because we were that bad, but it went it went through the keeper's legs from 50 yards, and he wasn't aware he was scored until players jumped on him.
Cracking goal. Congratulations, Fulham. West Brom. That's
Yes.
Leeds, West Brom, and Fulham into the Premier League
It's,
now.
The Premier League's looking, if you got rid of the likes of maybe Brighton, possibly Burnley, it's looking very sort of peak Barclays Premier League, isn't it?
2002,
Yeah.
2003. I want Leeds to have a strong bow. A
With
sponsor
Mark
on there.
Viduka up front.
Arsenal go back to 02.
Yeah.
Man United. What did Man United have? Oh,
Vodafone.
Vodafone. That's
yes.
it. Get all the Chelsea got 3. Get all the
Absolutely.
mobile sponsors. Get
Yeah.
all of them back.
With Man City finishing 18th or something.
Yeah, losing like 8-1 to Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
We touched upon it last week. We'll very, very quickly touch upon it again this week. It has now, Barnsley fans can now actually breathe because they are remaining a championship side. Wigan, it has been confirmed they've been relegated.
It was
Even
to be
the
expected at this stage.
I think even the most optimistic Wigan fan, I still feel like they went in thinking, we're probably still going to go down. I still think they're assuring to go straight back up, Wigan.
I think it depends on the administrators and it depends on getting new owners in, because at the moment they've been having to sell players to pay wages, and if that can get sorted relatively quickly so that they can keep hold of their players, I'd agree with you. I think there'd be shoo-ins to go straight back up. But if it's not dealt with straight away and they're having to continue to sell squad players, it might be a difficult season for them.
Yeah, and now that they're down into League 1 and League 2, salary caps have been introduced. Now, me, Gillingham, cracking, brilliant idea. It gives us a chance. Let's face it, Gillingham, Hull, if he gets his wallet out and stuff. Sunderland, you could argue, they can pay players 15, 20 grand a week. They can. Not that they do, but I think they can have that financial sort of backing. Even someone like Ipswich can maybe hit it. Gillingham aren't paying 20 grand. Gillingham aren't paying 20 grand for a player. They're all loans and all free. So the fact that there's this salary cap, that it doesn't matter, it's that whoever joins the club is purely based on where, like, the manager and the plans for the season. I like that as a Gillingham fan. I think it's brilliant. We will do our predictions before the season starts. We've got predictions, but I think even before this, I think Gillingham are challenging for playoffs. Now that this has been introduced, I'm cautiously optimistic. We could potentially hit playoffs next season, but from obviously your perspective, let's face it, Hull are a bigger club coming down from the Championship to have a spend cap. What are your thoughts?
So, in terms of as a Hull City fan, I'm not against it, just first and foremost, but we could have maybe done without it this season. I mean, I don't know what the plans are in terms of recruitment. I don't know whether we're going to really be trying to push with all our might to get back into the Championship, or whether we'd maybe just sort of consolidate a couple seasons in League One. But we have got the money available at least to spend. I would like to think at least some of it would be spent, but it's now very much much more level playing field. It's about the management and it's about having smart recruitment.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
But one thing that hasn't been touched on too much, which I feel is quite important, is that how does this then affect the teams promoted into the Championship? You're going to have to, unless you're happy to just come straight back down, you're going to have to spend a hell of a lot of money in that pre-season before playing in the Championship. And you could lose half the squad players who you've been consistently playing well all season.
No, do you know what? No, I don't think that has been touched upon. I haven't really seen that touched upon much. I'm thinking if Gillingham do go up to the Championship, dreaming here, Lord, oh man, that would be a happy podcast. That they go up to the Championship. Do you know what? No, I hadn't really thought about that, because let's face it, the Championship is, is a decent. They're not that I'm saying that these teams won't go up, but let's say Gillingham go up this next season, so 21-22 season.
Yep.
There will be the likes of probably Nottingham Forest, no disrespect, but come on now, there could be Derby, Sheffield Wednesday.
There could be some very big clubs to come up against, and if
they come back down like Leeds or West Brom, like if they do come back down, they're we're not challenging with that, are we? It could be. You could see something like a Rotherham. You know, remember when they went up to the Championship, they just went straight back down again.
Yeah, I mean, Wigan are very much like that as well. Charlton, we see recent years.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just, maybe, it's obviously trying to bridge a gap. It doesn't want another Bolton, another Bury, anything like that. But maybe they're trying to bridge the gap a little too far.
Yeah, no. So basically, September 12th, start of the season. Let's see where it goes. Let's see how it goes. I'm just excited to see football again.
Yeah.
You know, from a Gillingham sense. So that is all very exciting. We'll quickly touch upon, there was only a couple of bits of Premier League news I think that we thought it was worth at least talking about. There will be no 5 subs next season, which I think is a fantastic thing. I think it's brilliant.
Very happy with that. And it's particularly good for the smaller clubs with not as much squad depth.
With the depth, yeah, that's right, yeah. So, 3 subs, I think it's just more than enough anyway. Like, I get it. I get it when it first started coming in. I guess when you're halfway through the restart, you can't then go changing rules again, which is why I think they kept the water break, even though a lot of players were back up to match fitness and everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, the water break's not coming back.
Thankfully.
Thank God. And yeah, 3 subs, more than enough. I think that's fine. And transfer news, Nathan Ake has joined Man City for an overpriced, I think, 40 million.
Yeah, I'd maybe
Between
value him...
20 and 25, I think.
Yeah, see, I'd maybe value him a little higher at that, around 30, but I do think it's slightly too much. And he's not... Supposedly, Man City are still chasing another centre-back, so Ake would probably be third choice, and at 40 million for a third choice centre-back...
FA Cup, League Cup kind of...
Yeah, it seems quite a lot, but if they are chasing someone like a Koulibaly, obviously Laporte's going to be in the starting 11 when fit, but the one thing I would say is he's definitely an improvement over the likes of Otamendi and John Stones.
Yes, and you see tweets like rival fans laughing, going, "Oh, what, you go to relegation teams for the players?" I'm thinking, I'm not being funny, right? But Leicester signed Harry Maguire from Hull. I'm using Hull as an example.
Yeah, because...
And Liverpool signed Andy Robertson, arguably the best left back in the world, from a relegated side. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think one player can't keep a team up.
No, I'm not being funny, but like Callum Wilson, I think he's been linked with Spurs. He's a decent striker at Premier League level. We've seen that. You know, we've seen that he can. Nathan Ake is a decent defender at Premier League level. We've seen that. Just because his whole team has gone down doesn't mean he was the catalyst for that. So I think Ake's quite a clever signing by Guardiola.
I think he's very much second in line to Laporte for that left centre-back role, because he's another left-footed centre-back and he's a bit more comfortable on the ball than most centre-backs. It seems to make sense, everything but maybe a slightly inflated transfer fee.
Yeah, they don't have much luck in the injury side of defenders, do they?
No.
So maybe they've signed him on the basis of that too. And Laporte can be quite injury-prone, left-footed, so yeah.
And also, I think Guardiola said this week that Eric Garcia is wanting to leave the club.
Is he? Yeah.
So he's supposedly wanting to go to Barcelona.
Back to Barcelona. I think that's where he signed from, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think it was a youngster. Well, he's still a youngster.
Who's not complaining is Bournemouth. 40 mil back pocket. That helps.
Yeah, that will help with the big difference in income between Premier League and the Championship, for sure.
100%.
And you could guarantee you won't be the last big name player to leave Bournemouth this summer.
No, that's pretty much. I think that's pretty much it for the Premier League. Let's move on to what everyone has just heard about and waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for the Through On Goal Awards, the awards that no one has heard of or cares to win. These are awards that we came up with this a couple of weeks ago. We thought this would be a little bit of spin. Everyone kind of does a team of the season, which we still have, but we wanted to add a bit of extra. We'll make them into some sort of like award show kind of thing. Don't worry, I won't talk in this voice the whole thing. It's just for the start. So we wanted to touch upon, obviously, the end of the season. We've got this for the first time you'll see in this podcast. I think this will be the only time you see it happen in this podcast. Just for length purposes, me and Elliot have come together and we've picked our joint team of the season and we've agreed on every single award. I say agreed. Agreed is very much speech bubbles. I know there's one certain thing that Elliot is still going to argue with me on, which is fine.
Yeah, we haven't agreed, but we've come to an agreement.
We've come because Elliot had to leave at 2:00. That's the only reason we came to. That's the only reason we came to an agreement. Otherwise, I think we'd still be arguing now.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, 100%. However, I think we come to an agreement. We will do some honourable mentions. We'll mention, maybe where we kind of differed and who you wanted, but who we went with in the end. And then, we'll give out the awards to no one, virtually. And
unfortunately, they can't be here to collect their awards.
After every award, unfortunately, they cannot be here to accept the awards. Here to accept the award on their behalf is Sam. I just want to thank everyone for this award. No, there'll be none of that. So, we'll start with the team of the season. We'll start with the big one. We've gone very basic. We've gone 4-4-2. I feel like that's the only position you can really do. Yeah, it's so easy to do. And to be fair, in this 4-4-2, in every single position, there's generally been a standout, I think. So, we'll start with that. We opened up the Zoom chat yesterday, didn't we, Elliot? We went, go, right, let's start with goalkeeper. You said someone different. I said someone different. We immediately started to argue.
Yes.
So
I picked Dean Henderson because I think he's had a brilliant first season in the Premier League. He's a massive reason as to why Sheffield United had the season that they did and ended in the top half. And I think he'd be Sheffield United's player of the season, and I think he deserved to be in there.
And not that I disagreed with Elliot. However, who we've gone for just ahead of Dean Henderson is Nick Pope. I think Nick Pope has had an absolutely fantastic season for Burnley. He was one. It only happened to be a cracking goal from that Brighton player. Sorry, I can't remember who scored it. It was like a worldie for 25 yards. It's the only reason I think why he didn't get the Golden Glove.
Yeah,
because that was scored against him. Cracking. He's nominated for Player of the Season as well. That's a feat.
That was what I gave in on Friday. He was nominated for Premier League Player of the Season.
Yeah,
and simply based on that was what won it. That was what won it over.
That's it. So Nick Pope is our goalkeeper, which we came to a good agreement. We've gone for obviously right back. Shall we say more? It's obviously Trent.
Yeah,
it's obviously
Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's got so many assists this season. He's had yet another brilliant season. There's only maybe Pereira at Leicester who can challenge him.
Yeah, exactly. I think we kind of mentioned Wan-Bissaka, how he defensively seems to have been a little bit better at United, but I think Trent was all the way. Yeah. We'll do our left back as well, because come on now, it's Andy Robertson.
Yes.
Andy Robertson, it has to be left back. We haven't gone a full Liverpool back four, don't worry, but there's very few left backs in this Premier League that I think can challenge Robertson. Yeah. I really do. And we immediately agreed on that. Yeah. Two centre-backs. So, first centre-back is Virgil van Dijk. Right, okay. So, he's so good.
He's head and shoulders above any centre-back in the league, really, isn't he?
Yes. No, he really is. And I don't think we really need to say more. I think everyone knows how good he is. Yeah. Now, me and you differed a little bit on the second centre-back. Mm-hmm. Who did you go for?
So, I originally went for James Tarkowski, but to be honest, that was because a Burnley player needed to be mentioned, and I'd originally gone with Henderson in goal over Pope. So I feel like someone of Burnley's defensive line should be in there. But with Pope in goal, I can agree with what Sam went with.
Yes, you sell your centre-back for like 85 million to Man United. You think, we might have to invest in a new one. You don't. He's right there, and he's been phenomenal. So in tune. Centre-back for Leicester. He's Lord Farquaad himself. He's been so good for Leicester, hasn't he? No one expected it. I think that's a big reason for me why he's in this, is because you
kind of came out of nowhere.
Never expected it. Yeah, absolutely. You never expected that to happen. So, yes, we got our back four of Trent, Soyuncu, Virgil van Dijk and Robertson. Strong back four there. Now, we will come on to our midfield. We have a right mid, two centre mids and left mid. Now, we will come to right mid last, and there is a reason. You will find out. We should get out of the way of the obvious. Left mid, Mane.
Sadio Mane, yeah.
Yeah.
You can maybe only mention Rashford and who we went with at right mid as honourable mentions.
So, no, with Mane, I think we haven't got Salah in this team. Not that he hasn't had a cracking season. I just think, let's face
I think Mane.
Right mid, yeah.
I think Mane's the best of that front three for Liverpool.
I think so too. I think if you give me the choice of that front three, I'd pick Mane. Yeah. Who I'd want in the team. He's least selfish. Salah's a bit selfish, let's face it. Firmino's very good, but he's not scoring any goals. Mane's can't doing everything, so that's very good. Our two centre mids, obviously one's a bit more attacking, one's a little bit more defending, but we put them at centre mid next to each other.
So yeah, the obvious one, De Bruyne, yet again, another fantastic season. Arguably the third best player in the world. What a player! What more could be said about him? I think he got the joint assists record in the Premier League this season, and he obviously chipped in with a load of goals. And just watching him, is an absolute joy to watch.
Yeah, everything you said there, I completely agree. Yeah, there's nothing more you can say about De Bruyne. He's just, God, he's just so good. He's just so good.
Now, we had a slight disagreement on the other one. We just it's centre mid, so it can kind of be attacking, defensive, whatever. So I originally had down Bruno Fernandes simply just based on the impact he had at Man United. And they look a brand new team since coming in. And technically, I would say this player is better than the player that we went with in the end. But over the course of the season and for his leadership, we went with Jordan Henderson.
Yes, so I think my argument with that is everything Elliot said about Bruno Fernandes, I completely agreed on, 100%. But I think it's team of the season.
Yeah.
Not, do you know what I mean? So
not team from January to
January
August.
onwards, exactly.
Yeah.
I think over the course of the season, Henderson has been so consistent. He's been so good. And that's why he's gone in front, I think, for Fernandes.
Yeah.
Next season, when they've both got a full season each, who knows? We'll find out the Through on Goal Awards 2 next year. But we had to go with Henderson, I think, centre mid. So this right mid is a position where me and Elliot, I think we spent a good half an hour.
Definitely. And I still don't agree, but it's written down.
No, he doesn't agree, and Elliot argued very passionately. Might I add? This is we fell out.
Pretty
we
much.
fell out. We did.
We're not talking after this.
No, that's it. We haven't came on to record this afterwards.
Yeah.
We're
actually recorded separately.
Yeah, I'm just guessing what he's saying. You know what I mean? So, Elliot very passionately went for Adama Traore. Now, I'll let you talk about your pick, and I'll talk about mine.
So I think Adama Traore has been revelation this season. He's been absolutely fantastic. He's another one that he's maybe better to watch than look at stats because he's a very unique player. The way he takes people on, he's very strong.
Baby oil on the arms.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
Yeah, fantastic. But if I was a Premier League defender, he would be the first player on my list of I do not want to defend against this person. And he has chipped in with a lot of goals and assists this season. And he's particularly had a very good partnership with Jimenez. I think they've combined each other for 10 goals, I think it is, combined with each other. But yeah, so that's why I went with Adama Traore, and I'm still sticking by it, regardless of what it says on this notes.
So, who we went with in the end and who I went with was Raheem Sterling. Now, he scored 20 plus goals this season for Man City, and he's so good. And I think if you give me the choice between those two in a starting 11, I want Sterling because of what he's contributed this season towards the goal. Elliot's big argument, and this is what got it, was Sterling, granted, has primarily played at left wing or left mid or left wing this season. And that's fine. I get it. But I think we had to put Sterling into this team. And if you ask Sterling to play right wing, you're not playing him out of position. You're not. He can play right wing. He can play right mid. I have some stats for you, Elliot. I don't think you knew this was coming. Okay. But listen to this. So I've got my Sterling stats and I've got my Traore stats here. So Traore on the forward right, right wing, has played pretty much all season. He's played about 25 games. He's scored 3, assisted 5. Sterling this season has played 4 games on the right and he's scored the exact same amount of goals as Traore.
With no assists.
Well, he's come on as a sub, so he's got an assist next to sub. I don't know where he played as a sub.
So my argument back to that is that we had part of the reason why Bruno Fernandes wasn't included is because it was team of the season. He hasn't played enough games. He's played 14 matches in the Premier League, so he can't be in this. But Raheem Sterling has played 4 games at right wing, and he is included.
But you're not playing him out of position. You're not playing him out of position at all. But you play Sterling at right wing. That's his position for him.
But it is the team of this season in the Premier League. And in the Premier League this season, Raheem Sterling has played probably 70-80% of his games from the left wing. So he is a left winger.
So why aren't we then talking about Traore as a right wing back? Traore at right wing back has played more games than Sterling has at right wing. So surely we should be considering Traore as a best right wing.
But he's played the majority of his games at right wing. So
Yes,
he played
but-
25 games. So his position is a right wing for me.
Yes, but Sterling. What I'm trying to get at you, Elliot, is Sterling for me had to get into this team. He had to, and left wing was Mane was too good at left wing, but Sterling was still too good to leave out. Now you was telling me Pep Guardiola says to Raheem Sterling, play on the right. Sterling's going to go, I'm way out of position there. Don't even think about it. No, he plays on the right, and granted, he scored a couple of goals from the right.
But yeah, we're basing that on this season where he hasn't played an enormous number at right wing. So for me, he's not a right winger this season.
So you genuinely think Traore is better than Sterling this season?
I'm
You
not
think
saying-
Traore has been?
I'm
No.
saying-
I want you to hear. I want to hear you say it.
I'm saying in a right mid position, Traore over the course of a 38 game season has been better than Raheem Sterling has at a right mid position.
Right, but what I'm saying, it's team of the season. So we're going for players of the season.
But we're selecting
into a
the
team.
right mid position. So
And I think Sterling I think you play Sterling at right wing. I think he's better than Traore. I think those 3 or 4 games he's played at right wing, I think he's better than Traore.
I can hear a Twitter poll coming on here.
A Twitter poll will be coming on here.
So
and
do you want to say how we did come to the agreement of writing Raheem Sterling in that position that he doesn't play?
we were at an absolute stalemate of putting in Traore.
I'm sure you could hear. I'm sure you could understand from what you're hearing. We were at a stalemate.
Yes, absolutely. We were at a complete stalemate of putting in Traore, who's been okay, or Sterling, who's been absolutely brilliant this season.
From left wing.
Who we'd rather put in. There was only one way to do it. We called it Lana. So Lana could not hear what Elliot gave both players a number.
One or
Obviously,
two,
Lana,
and yeah.
1 or 2. Seriously, Paul. Lana could not hear this.
Because Sam
Lana
had his
came
headphones in, so
Yeah, Lana came in. I said to her, right, Lana, pick a number between 1 and 2. Simple as that. She picked number 2, which was Raheem Sterling, which I think even if you give her the choice between Sterling and Traore, she would have picked Sterling anyway because she's got sense. I think. Right, there are times where I really wish this was like a video where we recorded this because
just shaking my head, shake my head.
Elliot's face has just absolutely been a face of like the whole right mid position, which we talked about. He's been fine up until right mid. He's just giving me absolute evils through the camera.
I think Carl Walker should have been goalkeeper for the team of the season. He's conceded no goals this season.
In the Champions League, he should be considered, yeah. But not Premier League. We're talking about Premier League team of the season here, Elliot. Come on, get your head in the game. I know we've gone 2 centre mids. You know, De Bruyne's not a centre mid; he's more of a central attacking midfielder. But we still put him in at centre mid. So I don't know what your argument is, Elliot. Don't know what your argument is.
We're gonna have a Twitter poll. We're gonna sort this once and for all.
Yes, please. So yeah, we will do a Twitter poll.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sterling or Traore. There's got to be a way to write it, obviously, because you are so adamant. The left wing, right wing.
I'm praying for Adama Traore to have an absolute masterclass on Monday and Tuesday whenever he plays.
Oh yeah, no, we've got to strategically put the poll out. If he has an absolute horror show, who do you think's better?
Oh, you'd be
Sterling-
tweeting that, yeah.
That'd be funny because Sterling scored in the Champions League as well. Just saying. So anyway, shall we move on? We spent a lot of time on that.
Yeah.
We'll move on to our 2 strikers.
Which we both agreed on.
Immediately we both agreed on Jamie Vardy, top goal scorer. He seems to get better with age, doesn't he, Vardy? He's just I don't know what he does. And Danny Ings. We had to put Danny Ings in because he's been phenomenal this season. Liverpool, sold him on the basis of he's quite injury prone. He's probably not going to be a good enough backup.
Yeah.
He's straight into the Southampton side. He scored 22 goals this season.
Something like that. He was only one short of Vardy, wasn't he?
Yes. So
joint with Aubameyang.
I think the 2 strikers there we had definitely.
Can't be much argument. Really.
No, there was a couple of honourable mentions. Obviously, Martial was a bit of an honourable mention. He seemed to have a very good second half of the season, at least.
Yeah.
Aubameyang was also talked about, even though he's played a lot of games at left wing, but he wasn't honourable mention for left wing. But we'll skip past that. So yeah. Anyway, yes. So our team of the season, Elliot, is goalkeeper Nick Pope. Our 4 in the back are Trent, Soyuncu, Van Dijk, Robertson. Our right mid is Sterling. Our 2 centre mids are De Bruyne and Henderson. Stop looking like that. Our left mid is Mane, and our 2 strikers are Ings and Vardy. That is the through on goal team of the season. If you don't agree with us and you for some reason agree with Elliot, then that's fine. Let us know in the comments below. And give us a tweet. We will put polls out to see what you would have thought. I think we should put poll on everything that we semi disagree disagreed on like goalkeeper and maybe centre back and stuff.
Yeah.
Just to see what we've said.
Yeah.
But we come on to the player individual awards of the through on goal era. So we've gone with the obvious ones, and we've gone with some, there's one in there that is my favourite award of all time. Looking forward to that. Elliot, will you do the honours of goal of the season?
Yes, so goal of the season, surprisingly, we put forward one goal each, and it was actually neither of them that we went with. So, although I said a couple of weeks back in a previous podcast that I think De Bruyne's goal versus Newcastle's goal of the season, I changed that to Harry Wilson's free kick on his home debut against Man City back in August last year. It was sort of 25 yards out, and he's put it top corner past the goalkeeper who ended up winning Golden Glove and one of the best goalkeepers in the world. What a fantastic free kick. What a way to mark your home debut.
I, again, didn't think it was a bad goal at all. I argued that my goal that I said, Heung-min Son against Burnley, took on the whole length of the pitch, was better. And we got to a point where we almost picked Son, but we were proper looking through, and we found one that was like, oh, do you know what? This
Just
goal is
fits
not
the
talked
vibe.
about enough, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
And the goal of the season goes to... Oh, we're not going to do drop. We're not going to do that. Every time, are we? Should we just... Yeah, that's the only time we'll do it. Please stay. Please keep listening. We got more rewards.
Goal of the season went to Ayew for Crystal Palace versus West Ham.
The sheer genius of it. He cuts in, and then he does a roulette, and he does like a little flap next to defender, and then in the 92nd minute to win the game, he chips the keeper. Oh, he chips the keeper.
He sits the keeper down and puts it in.
Down.
Yeah, I think what was very much a deciding factor was that won the game in the final minute. That was...
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. I think that you could have easily lost his head, do you know what I mean? Like that final minute.
Yeah.
And I remember what you said about it earlier was Connor Wickham literally had about a minute or so before that had a chance to square it to Ayew, but he didn't, and he missed.
So
and Ayew kind of just went.
Yeah. So I'm not letting anyone have this ball now. And yeah, he has won our goal of the season award. Yeah, I think it was a good compromise.
I don't think that's going to win too many goal of the seasons, but I think it should.
Yeah, fantastic goal.
We'll go on to signing of the season. We had a few honourable mentions. I can't remember any of them.
The biggest honourable mention who hasn't won it is probably Christian Pulisic.
Pulisic at Chelsea, yes. No, I do remember that name being brought up. But the signing of the season had to go to Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, of course.
He only came in January, but you've seen the difference he's made for Man United since he's joined. He's really brought that attacking, that creativity flair back to United. He's a big contribution to their, winning streak they had in lockdown. Scored a lot of penalties, but you still got to score them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you still got to score them, and you contribute to a lot. And for me, signing of the season, I think, it says a lot when the signing of the season is one in January.
Yeah, I'm not sure there'll be too many people disagreeing with that one either. He's completely transformed Man United, and I don't know if there may be one or two signings away from a title push, but they're a lot closer than they were with him in the side.
Yes, no, 100%, especially Europa League now. So
Yep.
With every signing of the season, there's a flop of the season. Now, Ndombele almost won this. Because of the justification of his price tag. It was like 60 odd millions, Tottenham record signing. The reason we didn't go with him is because when he has played, you have seen those glimpses of he's a quality player and he can change the game when he has played. However, the player that we've gone with when he's played has not really shown those signs. And when you buy a striker for 40 million, you expect him to score some goals, not two. One of them against Tottenham, ironically, but not two. And our flop of the season is Joelinton for Newcastle. Oh, he's just... What summed it up for me, and I can't remember who they were playing against, but it was Newcastle. He got the ball. It was in just after lockdown. He got the ball, was running one-on-one with the keeper, and he hit the floor.
Yeah.
He kicked the floor.
Yeah, I remember the moment. I want to say maybe it was Sheffield United, but that could well be wrong.
A Sunday league striker has more composure than that. I just think he hasn't played very well. He's hit the ground running. Who knows? Maybe today it's just a bit of a filler season. Next season you watch him score 15, 20 goals and be brilliant.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe he's one of those strikers that really just, when given time to think about it, overthinks it and messes it up. I think of Cavani as being one of those players. Maybe he's just better as sort of an instinctive finish first time in the box, which potentially Steve Bruce's style of football doesn't really allow. But yeah, to only score 2 goals after a 40 million transfer fee, it's not good enough.
Yeah,
and,
no.
Yeah.
No, exactly. I think when that name was mentioned, we both went, Oh, yeah.
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 So the next one we have is a quote of the season, and there were a few, including the recent one of Scott Parker this week after the game, saying, "Oh, you get home, you have a bit of Chinese, and you're already thinking about Monday morning." That was one honourable mention, but the one that
And we were sorry, I just wanted to say we were very, very close to putting in the entire Akin Fenway interview.
yes,
Wickham
Klopp could
thing.
hit me up on WhatsApp. Yeah.
Yeah, we were very close. We couldn't really find too much of a quote. We just wanted to put the whole interview in, but we did come up with one.
Yes, and the winner for quote of the season is, "I had one guy called Drogba. He played 4 seasons for me. He scored 186 goals, which gives him an average of 46 goals per season," which is a quote from Jose Mourinho on striker Didier Drogba, who scored 73 goals in 168 matches for him.
He got that so wrong, didn't he? I loved what I loved about that press conference was obviously literally a couple of days ago, Paul Merson went, "Oh, Harry Kane's not going to do anything, under Jose Mourinho's style of play," and then Jose Mourinho comes out with this piece of paper and goes, "Here are the strikers that have played under me." Now, obviously, I think like the Ronaldo, the Ibra, the Higuain, I think he got right, but that's a lot of goals.
Yeah,
for Drogba.
I remember Drogba being good in the Premier League, but not that good.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't 46 goals a season good.
No.
I think Messi's only done that twice.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's got to be it.
had to be, yeah, when we said it. When we came up with it, we were like, no, yeah, that's the best one. We want to come on to the most improved award. This was a little bit of a tricky one because I think lockdown has made this quite difficult because it's semi-hard to remember a little bit beginning of the season when...
Yeah.
You had all those players. When we think about a player it's just one that you didn't expect. Not that the way we've kind of done this is that we knew he was there, we knew that he could score, but this season all of a sudden he's gone mental. Yeah. Exactly. And if you haven't guessed already, our most improved is Danny Ings. So he was a good backup for Liverpool. Don't get me wrong. I think he was capable. He was always that good striker. Obviously, he played for Burnley, scored some goals for Burnley. But it's something about this season that's all of a sudden made him go, yeah, look at me. Yeah. I really hope he can do it again next season. I really do. I want him to keep that going and to look to the Euro 21 squad because let's face it, let's say if the Euro 2020 was now, obviously it just happened and England, obviously had just won it.
Obviously.
Jamie Vardy, international retirement. So then you look to the next person on that list, is an English striker called Danny Ings.
Yeah.
It's good. So fingers crossed he can carry on that form. But yes, our most improved, I think, quite deservingly went to Danny Ings.
I think the secret to his success is really keeping him fit, and if he can play another 30-35 games next season, he could well be in with another shout of the Golden Boot.
And I'm a big fan of Che Adams being on a hat-trick, but Danny Ings taking the ball for the penalty and going, no, I'm taking it.
Yes. So our next award is Best Celebration of the Year, and that goes to that Newcastle fan at Oxford. After that, we have the Biggest Breakthrough Award, which there were a few mentions. Obviously, Foden had kind of already been on the scene a little bit. Last season, he'd had a bit of game time. Obviously, Greenwood had had little bits of game time. I think the obvious one really is Bukayo Saka, who at the beginning of the season was not even a relative unknown. He was unknown.
No, I didn't know of him.
And to come in after a couple of decent Europa League games, to then be playing league games, to then starting league games, and he's getting assists. He's extremely creative. He's very versatile.
He plays everywhere.
Yeah, I think he'd be in with a shout for the right wing player of the team of the season, but no,
not letting that go.
No, I'm not letting that go. I never will. But yeah, I think he's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think when you said the name, I think we both agreed on it. It said how versatile he's been, how he's, Nicolas Pepe, you've just signed him for like 60 million, and Saka's coming in and giving him a bit of run for his money. I know Pepe still starts and stuff, but Saka, if he's a consistent starter next season and he breaks through, then
and
fingers crossed.
He's signed a big contract extension as well this season, so he is obviously a massive part of Arteta's plans for the future at Arsenal. So we've got the most underrated player, and I think this was quite a difficult one. It was, you're not really sure where to really think of this, but we went with Alex McCarthy because he came into the starting 11 for Southampton kind of partway through the season. They had a tough time with, I think it was Angus Gunn playing in goal, and he's made that number one spot his own, really. He's had some fantastic games. The most notable was the 1-0 win against Man City, where he was by far and away man of the match.
Very good, yeah.
And I think he could well be in the discussion for Euro squad in 10 months' time or whatever it is.
Potentially, yeah, exactly. I think that's why we put him in. You come into the squad after just losing 9-0, and basically your team, your talk from the manager is just don't let in 9.
Yeah.
That's a good incentive. And I think he did make a mistake against Arsenal, I think, for Nketiah.
Right, yes,
to kick it
yeah.
out. But, every keeper has that. However, I think Southampton, with him in goal, has looked better, have looked a bit more sure, a bit more consistent, a bit more fit. And instead, he does seem to have... I've never considered McCarthy a bad keeper. I don't think I've ever considered that. But I've never really considered him like, he's good. He's always just, he's a goalkeeper. He's a Premier League goalkeeper.
Right.
But if he can put in some performance next season,
But
I don't see why there's no conversation of him at least being talked about.
yeah, but I don't really think there's many honourable mentions in terms of the underrated category. It was very much we saw that name and we thought, he's not really getting spoken about enough for the second half of the season he had at Southampton.
That's right. One of my favourite categories coming up is, what a player. Oh, wait, no, he's not. Category. And that award goes to, and I feel we're not bad people, but we have a bit of fun here.
Yeah.
But yes, the what a player. Oh wait, no, he's not. Goes to Daniel James. So the reason we went with Dan James is because at the beginning of the season, and I have a little bit of a story about this. So at the beginning of the season, I think I sent Elliot a text with the Man United team, and I'm saying this looks like a decent team here. And I had Dan James starting and Sanchez on the bench. Now, I remember you saying to me, you really think he's going to start with James and not Sanchez? And I go, I just think Solskjaer is going to prefer Dan James if he's younger, a bit hungrier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were like, fair enough. And then obviously at the beginning of the season, he's proven me right. I'm thinking, Sanchez is obviously on the bench. He's not doing well. He's gone to Inter. And Dan James, he's scored a few goals. He's rapid.
Scored a goal on his debut in a 4-0 win over Chelsea.
Good. And he scored a cracking goal against Southampton. Cut in and just rocketed it in. But I forgot he played for United.
Yeah,
halfway through the season.
He's not had a good second half of the season, has he?
I was thinking, is he injured? But it's like, no, he's not. And it's a shame because you see it there. You do see a good player potentially there. He's, but he's just quick.
Yeah, I can maybe see a loan spell for him next season, particularly with the emergence of Mason Greenwood, and if they are going to get Jadon Sancho, he'll then be pushed further down the pecking order.
Yeah.
But I think a loan spell could maybe do him quite well. Maybe he could sign for Leeds like he almost did before signing for United. Maybe that's
United to Leeds. That's not going to go well, is it?
No, not amazing.
Or do what I would do. See, he's a really good player, and don't play him out of position. Just play him in a different position that you might be comfortable in, like left mid. Anywho, Elliot, you got the next category. I'm not letting it go either, mate.
So we've got another funny category of the he still plays category, which there are a few up until the last few weeks. Youngster Jesse Lingard could have maybe got that, but
remember the name.
In the end, we went with Sheffield United centre mid absolute dynamo Jack Rodwell.
I forgot. I do you know what? I didn't even realise he signed for Sheffield United.
It was when they brought him on a couple of games from the end. What? It was his first Premier League game in something like 5 years or something.
Because he had spells at Sunderland and Blackburn.
He's hated at Sunderland.
Because
I think he was on his contract. He was on £70,000-80,000 a week, and Sunderland made the mistake of not having a buyout clause. No,
a relegation.
It wasn't. It was that they made this mistake of him not having a relegation clause. So they went down to the Championship, 70-80 grand a week. They went down to League One on 70-80 grand a week, which with this recent salary cap.
Yeah.
With this salary cap in League One, the entire squad's wages have got to be around 50,000 a week. So
he's out. Yeah, I was agreeing when he came on. I was like,
yeah,
okay then.
Yeah,
we'll come towards the tail end of the awards now. We've got a couple. One, I think, award that I wanted to give out was that went to VAR award, and that goes to Jack Grealish's heel against Burnley. We will post a picture of it on Twitter. Obviously, it's hard to describe on a podcast, obviously, when you listen to us on a podcast, but just look up Jack Grealish versus Burnley VAR, and you'll know exactly why this got that award. Oh my God.
Shocker.
Wow. But yeah, that went to VAR. All goes to Jack Grealish. Congratulations, Jack. on your award. Bargain of the season, I think, was a tricky one because we were looking at price tags out of some certain players and seeing if they were justified. We were looking at players that had signed in the summer. However, we went for one that was signed, basically, I think it was signed for purely experience because I think Chelsea thought he was a bit past it. However, he's come into the Crystal Palace back line and he's shored them up and he's been brilliant this season for them. And our bargain of the season on a free is Gary Cahill for Palace. I think we both agreed on that one quite quickly.
Yeah, we did, because we looked through some of the transfer fees of the last couple of windows, and although there have been some big name players and some good signings in there, I don't think there's been an awful lot of value. And when you look at Gary Cahill in on a free, I'd say he's been Palace's best, at least, defender this season. And I know it's an ageing squad, but I think Scott Dan spent a lot of this season out injured, and missing him, Gary Cahill's been a very, very capable centre-back. So our performance of the season, I don't think there's going to be too much arguments in this, and I know it's been mentioned a few times before in previous podcasts, so apologies Southampton fans. We've given you some nice awards through this though, so I hope it doesn't seem like we've been too harsh on you, but it is Leicester 9, Southampton 0.
You can't win 9-0 and not be given performance of the season. Come on.
Yeah, well, thankfully you can win 8-0 and not be given performance of the season, but...
Not sure what team that you're talking about there.
But yeah, I think Leicester, that was at sort of the peak of their season this season.
Do you know what I was literally about to say, just for clarity, we're talking about Leicester's performance, not Southampton.
Yeah. With the form of Che Adams and Danny Ings, you never know. But yeah, I think that was, if I remember, the game was pretty much over within about 20 minutes when it was 3-0 Leicester and Southampton had Bertrand sent off. And then Leicester just didn't take the foot off the gas and ran away 9-0 winners in the end.
It's been game's been talked about a lot. Everyone knows what game we're talking about. It obviously, performance of the season goes there.
So our penultimate award is for manager of the season, and I don't think it's as clear-cut as maybe some people would have thought, because the obvious option, the easy option, is to go Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool have won their first title in 30 years. They have had a very good season, or at least up until the last handful of games, and that would have been the obvious option. And it wasn't just a two-horse race either, because also in consideration was Frank Lampard, because although they finished fourth, they haven't won any trophies this season. Chelsea weren't expected to do anything this season. They came in with a transfer ban, and I don't think people would have been too surprised if they'd have finished mid-table, sort of around 8th, 9th, whatever, no European football. And he's had to promote a lot of youth players, and they finished fourth, and they're now looking to a brighter future, bringing in some very big name players.
Very big players.
But yes, so it's not Lampard, but he is quite close. I think simply based on how unexpected this team's league finish was, got to be given to Chris Wilder at Sheffield United. They were
100%.
They were shoo-ins to be bottom of the league. Nobody expected them to even stay up, but to be in contention for Champions League football for a long time, Europa League football for even longer, and to only just miss out on European football due to the last few games of the season. What a season!
Yeah, no, I agree. You can't base the entire season just on a few obviously after lockdown. It was a weird time for everyone, but and he's straight talking, isn't he? He's just absolutely straight talking. You know exactly what he wants. He's from Sheffield, isn't he? He's a
Sheffield United fan through and through.
Yes, and wow, I really hoped they would have got at least some form of European football this season. It would have been what a way to top off, but you can't say fairer than that. Yeah, Chris Wilder, absolutely.
I also think his recruitment is very good. He doesn't sign particularly big players or spend enormous amounts of money, but he gets what fits his system, and I think that they will keep going and have another good season next season. Maybe it'll be easy to say, maybe not as high as they have been, but I don't expect them to be going down anytime soon.
Our final award of the night. Thank you for sticking with us if you have been listening to the whole time. We appreciate your support through all of this. Now, we got a few tweets, didn't we, Elliot? I say a few. One.
We got two. We got two tweets.
Oh, no, we got two. One of them was Billy Gilmore. Now, spoiler alert, it's not him.
Sorry, Seb.
One to watch maybe, but he's not him. So our player of the season was very split. It was a choice between Jordan Henderson, Liverpool captain, and Kevin De Bruyne. And our player of the season, this one does deserve a drum roll, it's a big one. Our player of the season goes to Kevin De Bruyne. So, Sorry, Jordan, who tweeted us. You might, if you were...
And other Liverpool fans.
And of course, other Liverpool fans that listen. It was so close, just so everyone knows that's listening. This was very close. De Bruyne, he's levelled the assist record. I mean, I think towards the end he argued that he should have got it because I think a couple of his assists got maybe minor deflections, but hey-ho, who's to say? He's world-class. He's absolutely runs that midfield for Man City. Henderson was so close because he's been phenomenal. Like Jordan Henderson of past, you know, he started to become a bit of a meme. Every time someone passed you'd be on a counter-attack and he'd pass it back to the keeper or he'd pass it sideways. He was very sideways. This season, though, I don't know what on earth got into him, but I think he liked lifting trophies. I think he got the taste of the Champions League. He was like, no, I want to lift some more. And then all of a sudden, he's just upped his game. And you can't fault him there. Over the course of the season, though, over the course of the season, I know, Elliot, you'll get your say, but I know we've put them both in our team of the season. If you had to ask me to pick one player based on this season, I'm picking De Bruyne to go in my team.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think if you look at it in terms of who is the better footballer, it's De Bruyne by a distance. And I don't think that's unfair to say because there's so much more to Henderson's game than football, if that makes sense. He is a leader, and you've been able to notice since he was out injured what an impact it has on Liverpool's results. And he is up there, but in terms of who is the best player in the Premier League, it's De Bruyne for me. And obviously his assist record, I've already mentioned it tonight. I think he's third best player in the world.
Yeah, I feel like I need to reiterate to people how close it was for us. Like how real close this was for us to pick. But we had to, I think when we both really put our minds to it, I think we both just agreed on De Bruyne. So that is the Through on Goal Awards. Thank you very much for sticking with us through the awards. I think if Liverpool fans are still with us, then thank you very much on that. And Southampton fans, brilliant. Everyone, we'll make it up with a no context news to win, don't worry. But those are our awards. We'll do it again. Obviously, we'll make this a running thing. We'll think of more funny awards, actual awards. And we'll see you next year for the awards. So, we come to the end of the podcast. No context news, where me and Elliot challenge each other to find the most random news headlines from around the world that really make us think. I don't know what Elliot goes for. Elliot doesn't know what I go for. We say the headline, we end the podcast, and that's that. This week is my week. Now, everyone that's enjoyed the puns, thank you very much. No one else has, so I say everyone. My mum messaged me twice after the first pun. She went, "That was funny." Second pun, "That was funny." Nice. I do have a news headline this week, though.
You have hyped it up quite a bit as well.
I couldn't believe what I was reading when I saw when I saw it. It came up on my timeline. I was like, that can't be right. Click the link. Yes, it's an actual headline.
Okay.
It comes from. I've gone global again. It comes from the Daily Mail.
Okay.
So, and the headline reads. The headline reads as follows. Electrician who was sacked for playing noisy porn video in a meeting with 100 council workers claims the sound was made by goose honking. We thank you so much for listening to this week's podcast. We are TO Goal Podcast on Twitter. Please give us a follow. We are Through a Goal on YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe. If you like what you see, if you like what you've heard, please, give us a like and subscribe. Yeah. Tell your friends, do the whole shebang. It's the best excuse I've heard of my life. Sorry, it's the best excuse I've heard of my life for anything. So, brilliant. We'll see you in the next one. I've been Sam.
I've been Elliot.
Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
Thank you.